You know why I pulled you over?
Depends on how long you were following me.
Why don't we just take it from the top?
Here goes. I sped. I followed too closely. I ran a stop sign. I almost hit a Chevy. I sped some more. I failed to yield at a crosswalk. I changed lanes in the intersection. I changed lanes without signaling while running a red light and speeding.
Is that all?
No. I have unpaid parking tickets. Be gentle.
Do you have to sign the ticket? Well, yes and no. Signing the ticket is not an admission to guilt. A lot of people are afraid to sign a ticket because they believe that by signing the ticket, they're admitting to whatever is on the citation. However, signing that ticket is merely your promise to appear in court at a specified time and date. Now, if you don't sign the ticket, that's your option. If you refuse to sign the ticket, then you'll be taken before the magistrate right then and there.
Investigation into the use of force during an arrest in Boerne. You can hear the driver yelling after getting pulled over on Tuesday. Later, officers pull her out of the car. Today, the Boerne police chief released this video and admitted the arrest doesn't look good. But he says officers used a reasonable amount of force. The police department uploaded dash cam video and video for a witness for all of us to see.
A Tuesday traffic stop causes concern in Boerne. In this dash cam video, you see Officer Cheyenne Weber pull over Deani Minard for allegedly speeding. According to police, she has an out-of-state license and no insurance.
Okay, I need your current address for the citation.
The 21-year-old appears to refuse giving it up or getting out of the car.
No, bye!
You hear her yell at the officer, who tells her she's being arrested for failure to identify.
No, I'm not. Leave me alone.
Okay.
Don't touch me.
When the officer gets here, we are going to pull you out of the car if you don't want to get out of the car.
A few minutes later, 3 more officers arrive.
Get out of the car!
The video shows Minard still not cooperating,
Do not hit me!
and they take her out of the car by force.
What are you acting like that for?
In this second video from an eyewitness, you see Minard on the floor next to a police car. Police ask her to get in, but she doesn't listen.
No!
Then her mom shows up and tries to calm her down.
I'm telling you, look at me. Close your mouth.
Minard starts to follow orders only after her mother tells her to do so.
Would you please get in the
And Boerne Police Chief James Collier released this statement along with that video. He says in part, quote, all use of force incidents are reviewed by the chain of command. Although the use of force against Miss Minard does not look good, the officers in this incident acted with the necessary and reasonable amount of force. And Minard is in the Kendall County Jail tonight. The chief says that she was not hurt during that arrest.
Don't want to sign it?
No, because I don't think that I deserve to pay $80 for something that is fixable and I can fix it.
All right.
That's all you want.
Go ahead, step out of the car.
Why?
Because you're under arrest. Step out. Step out of the vehicle.
No, I'm not.
Step out.
The granny rolls up the window, then cracks it.
You be fair with me and I'll be fair with you.
Step out.
No.
You're under arrest.
No, I'm not.
The tension rises.
You are full of because you're not placing me under no damn arrest.
She relents, but it's too late.
Shut up and give me that and I'll sign it.
Step out.
No.
We're beyond that.
The woman takes off. So the cop jumps into his cruiser and chases her.
Get out of the car!
When he catches up to her, he approaches with his gun drawn. Then things turn really ugly.
Put your hands behind your back.
The officer tries in vain to get handcuffs on the granny. Cops say she tried to kick the officer, who then tasers her.
Put your hands behind your back!
Eventually, the officer succeeds in cuffing her.
Are you hurt?
Yeah, I'm hurt.
What hurts?
Everything. You did not have to taser me.
You wouldn't comply, you wouldn't get out, and then you tried to kick me. So, yes, I did.
Yeah, I tried to kick you because I'm a country girl.
I spoke to security expert and former police officer Steve Cardian about the drama which happened outside Oklahoma City. We're talking about a woman in her 60s here. This was all over a broken taillight. Did it have to come to this?
Well, that's where the lawful but awful comes in. It's lawful what he did, but it looks awful on camera and to the public. She should have signed the summons and just be on her way.
You're under arrest.
No, I'm not.
The woman was charged with assaulting a police officer and resisting arrest.
People in the black community, myself, often worry that we might be a victim of police brutality. So, as a public service, the Chris Rock Show proudly presents this educational video. Have you ever been face to face with a police officer and wondered, is he about to kick my ass? Wonder no more. If you follow these easy tips, you'll be fine. First, obey the law. Laws were made for a reason. Think of them as hints. You've heard people say, man, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Well, here's some of that. Carjacking, armed robbery, arson, selling drugs, buying drugs, stabbing, shooting. You know, you probably won't get your kicked if you just use common sense. If you jump a subway turnstile, you might just get off with a warning from the police. But if you jump a turnstile carrying a loaded gun and smoking a joint, then maybe you need your ass kicked. We all know what happened to Rodney King, but Rodney wouldn't have gotten his ass kicked if he had just followed this simple tip. When you see flashing police lights in your mirror, stop immediately. Everybody knows, if the police have to come and get you, they're bringing an ass kicking with them. Here's a no-brainer. If you're listening to loud rap music, turn that off. Blasting fuck the police while you're getting pulled over by the police is just ignorant. When an officer approaches your car, be polite.
Is there a problem, officer?
And stay in your car with your hands on the wheel.
What the f*** you want?
Unless you want your Want to give a friend a ride? Not so fast. Your friend might be crazy. Now, before you let your friend in your car, ask them these questions. Do you have a gun? Do you have drugs? Do you have any warrants? And in case you do get pulled over by the cops,
License and registration, please.
Remind your friend to do this one thing. Shut up.
Man, don't give him what the f***?
If you have to give a friend a ride, get a white friend. A white friend could be the difference between a ticket and a bullet in. Here's a tip you should never forget. If your woman is mad at you, leave her at home. Because a mad woman will say anything.
He got weed! He got weed!
If your woman is mad at you, there's nothing she'd like to see more than you getting your ass kicked.
That's right! Kicking his ass!
Now let's review. Obey the law. Use common sense. Stop immediately. Turn the off. Be polite. Shut the up. Get a white friend. And last but not least, don't ride with a mad woman. If you follow these simple pointers, you probably won't get your kicked by the police.
Okay, please go faster because I am running late. I will not.
I'm going as fast as I can.
Please, just go through the light. Just don't let that light turn red.
Okay, fine. I think we're getting pulled over.
What? Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh no.
Obviously, if I go over the speed limit, we're gonna get pulled over.
Pastor, put your hands on the dash. Pastor.
Ma'am,
Pastor, put your hands on the dashboard.
Thank you.
They said I
Driver, put your hands on the steering wheel. My name is Deputy Larry Hatch, Travis County Precinct 1. The reason why I stopped you is speeding 45 and 35. You have your driver's license, proof of insurance, ma'am? Thank you. Sit tight for a second. I'll be right back with you. You'll be asked to sign a citation.
This isn't saying that you agree. It's just saying that you're going to follow up with the court.
Now, we're going to be issued a citation for speeding 45 and 35. It's not a admission of guilt, but a promise to occur to court. You saw it right here at the last line, at the bottom line right there.
You will get a copy with all the information you need.
You'll be receiving notice in the mail. You got 30 days to appeal. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dr. Penn. The video you just watched is intended to show you what not to do when you're stopped by a police officer. But what is the right thing to do? How should you as a citizen handle the situation? We've asked a cross-section of high school students and ordinary citizens to help us out by asking some of the typical questions that you might have about the right way to handle yourself if and when you get pulled over. Let's get right to it.
What does the officer expect to see when he approaches our car?
Officers don't always have a clear view into your vehicle. Keep your hands visible. Don't move around. Don't reach for anything. For example, you can place your hand on the steering wheel in the 10 and the 2 position. That makes sense? Take a deep breath. Breathe, relax, wait for the officer to approach, and he'll give you further instructions. If it's dark, turn the overhead light on.
Why does the officer tell us to roll down our windows? What's that all about?
On a traffic stop, the officer may ask you to roll down your windows for his or her own safety. Under certain circumstances, when there's not a great deal of illumination or when the windows have a tint, the officer may require you to roll down the windows to identify anybody who may be in the back seat.
What happens if I don't want to show you my driver's license or tell you who I am?
If you refuse to show your driver's license to an officer when he stops you on a traffic stop, the officer can arrest you for refusing to show your driver's license. And under certain circumstances, if probable cause exists, the officer may also require the passengers to identify themselves.
What happens if I don't have my driver's license with me? Will I be arrested? What if I just forgot it at home?
An officer can usually verify that you have a license once he obtains basic information from you. Depending on local law, you may be arrested, but most likely you will only get a citation.
Do I have to get out of my car? I'm not a criminal.
Most of the time, an officer will actually get out of the vehicle for safety. You will be amazed how many times an officer and/or his vehicle are struck by another driver while conducting a traffic stop. If the officer asks you to get out of the vehicle, it's for your safety and also for his. Put it this way, nobody wants to be standing 6 inches from the highway with their back to traffic.
What if I'm a passenger in a stopped car? Can I ask questions?
Many times passengers want to get involved with what's going on. Generally, we're only going to speak with the driver unless a passenger has done something wrong. The officer should only conduct business with the driver. It's up to the driver to pass on the information to the passenger.
Is forgetting to use my signal or going a few miles over the speed limit really a big deal?
Traffic law is all about everyone's safety. Most of the time, officers look for traffic violations in areas where there have been accidents, citizen complaints about traffic, or areas known to be dangerous like construction zones, narrow streets, hills, blind curves, that sort of thing. When an officer makes a traffic stop, it is about getting people to drive safer. So sometimes, yes, not using that signal can be a big issue. Think about the last time someone didn't signal and cut you off.
Why should I sign a ticket? I don't want to look like I agree with it.
Look at the ticket as a personal recognizance bond. You're signing it to say you will contact the court so you can be released to go on your way. If you don't sign the ticket, then you can be arrested and taken to see the magistrate at the jail.
Okay, so I signed the ticket. What happens next?
The law says you have to be given at least 10 days to contact the court to state what you plan on doing. At this point, you have options you can discuss with the court. You can ask to go to trial and have a judge decide your case. Some courts allow you to plead no contest and take defensive driving courses to then have the ticket dismissed. Or you can just pay the fine. If you don't have the money right away, almost every court will work with you to set up a payment plan. There are other options that you may have that vary court by court. The big thing is to ask and be sure to do it before the time set on your citation.
What if I think the officer acted inappropriately or was rude or didn't have a reason to stop me?
Hey, if you think the officer acted inappropriately, was rude, or didn't have a reason to stop you, remember, you can take it to court. A court will have the final say on whether or not you violated the law. If it's about the officer's behavior or treatment, please contact that officer's employing agency. They have investigators that will contact you, and they will thoroughly investigate the complaint. Don't forget that most officers in this state and even across the country now have either in-car cameras with audio or on body-worn cameras with audio, so that will be the beginning point of the investigation. After the department investigates your concern or complaint, they will contact you, let you know what the results were, what their findings were, and let you know what action, if any, was taken.
Do I have to let an officer search me or my car?
You have the right to deny a consent search of your car, and even if you say yes, you can change your mind at any time. A consent search means that the officer is asking you for permission to search your car. However, if the officer has probable cause to search, they do not need consent. As far as a person, an officer can frisk a car. For example, if you are asked to get out, the officer can look inside before you get back in to see if there is a weapon within reach of the driver.
So now you have a better idea of how to handle the situation. Let's wrap things up and take another look at our traffic stop and how it could have turned out better.
We had pizza yesterday.
Right. No hamburgers, since I don't eat red meat.
That's right. Got a non-meat eater over here.
What about snappy salads?
Ooh, snappy salads.
Yeah,
talking my language now.
I haven't been there in a long time.
What you gonna get?
Salmon on it.
Yes, ma'am.
Make my own half snap.
Mm-hmm.
Salmon.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hey, this man have brake lights on?
Doesn't look like it.
I didn't see brake lights on that one.
So, you're getting pulled over.
Don't panic. It happens.
Put on your signal and look for a safe place to pull off the road.
Bravo 742 traffic. It's going to be a Texas tag. George King 430 Lincoln. Occupied.
If you can get into a parking lot, great.
Put your car in park.
Roll down your windows.
Turn off your engine.
Keep your hands on the steering wheel and wait for the officer.
You will
be asked to show your driver's license and insurance.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, officer.
Officer Opros, Dallas Police Department. You're being stopped today because your brake lights are out. Is there any reason your brake lights are out this evening?
No, sir. I didn't realize it was out.
Okay. May I see your driver's license and proof?
Do what the officer asks. If you have to reach into your console, let him know you're about to do it. They're in my console. Let me grab them.
Okay, go ahead.
Here you go, officer.
Thank you, sir. I'll be right back with you, okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
The officer may ask you to get out the car.
Just follow the instructions.
Stand where you're asked. It will be the safest place.
Stay out of the car until you're told to get back in.
So where are you coming from tonight?
I'm coming from class. I had an exam today.
What kind of exam?
I had a history exam.
History exam.
Yes.
How did you do?
I think I did pretty well. We will not find out until tomorrow.
Oh, well, good luck.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
you did
it.
well also.
I hope I did too.
I wasn't very good in history.
No?
No.
What's your favorite subject?
Math.
Math? Not really that smart for math, but hopefully you get math a lot more than what I do. Wait for the officer to tell you it's okay to leave.
All right, sir. Here's your driver's license and insurance back.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're all set. Just a warning for the brake lights. You're free to go.
Thank you, sir.
Drive safe.
Tink you. You have a great night.
You too.
Have a good night.
You have a great night, ma'am.
Thank you.
Look for a safe spot to leave. Usually the officer will wait for you to leave first.
On behalf of all the state and local partners that brought you this training video, thank you for watching. And safe travels across the great state of Texas.
We just want to keep everyone safe and get to our home at the end of the day.